Hi everyone, it's Instructor Sam's here, and I just wanted to give you some advice as you're engaging with your textbook. I myself really prefer physical textbooks, but a lot of what I'm working with isn't is electronic these days. So I actually like to read the um, McGraw-Hill Guide ebook versus the Smart Book because I find it simpler to interact with. It doesn't have that issue where, so this is what I'm looking at now, right? It doesn't have the issue where like it only has some highlights. And so I'm just going to go to like the table of contents and preface. So I'm on page one. I go to page, no, oh, where was page two? Anyways, minus that issue. Okay, I don't know where page two went. I guess it's a blank page, but I really appreciate just the simplicity of the ebook versus the smart book, which has a lot of features that I just don't find to be as helpful for this context of our class. So you're reading chapters 1 and 4 this week, and one of the things that I thought was super useful from chapters 1 and 4 was just some suggestions. So you're thinking about yourself as a writer. Hopefully that was helpful as you worked on your first reflections. There's just a lot of terms, so that's one of the reasons why I asked you in my recent announcement, like what terms are you chewing on right now? But I loved, where is it? Did I make a note? Keeping notebooks and journals. So here I'm on page, I want it to show me the page, right? Page 65. Okay. I'm on page 65, and it just gives you some suggestions about how you might take notes, how you might take notes after class. And I just want to really encourage you to get playful and try different journaling techniques. And one of the suggestions that I thought was super helpful, and I'm just going to highlight it there, is thinking about how you can rewrite your class notes. Now, your class notes for an online class look different than if you were going to a class and going to a lecture, but maybe you're still keeping a physical notebook. I really hope so, because I think handwriting can be a really important tool for cognition, for metacognition, so thinking about your thinking. So here I am on page 68 in chapter 4. I love the idea of a minute paper. A minute paper is a quick, useful way to reflect on a class lecture, discussion, assignment sheet, or example. What is the most important thing I learned in class today? What is the most important question that I have about today's class or lecture? So imagine if you did this, maybe you're not able to do this every time that you've engaged with course content. But maybe you're able to do it half the time. And imagine that sort of treasure trove of goodies you'll have to look back on when you get to the end of the class, to really chart your learning journey. And for English 101, that will be really helpful for your final reflection, your third reflection. Um, so the minute paper is a great idea. A preconception check. I love this because it really jives with our goals to be thinking about, what assumptions about language we bring to the table. A preconception is something that you think you know about a subject before you learn more about it in class, that you're reading from other sources of information. So you might think, okay, what do I know? What do I think I know about rhetoric or the art of argumentation? What do I think that I have learned there? How can I work through those? This short explanation may seem trivial. Okay, so look at this example, but it made the student more attuned to the explanation in his astronomy textbook. So you can sort of check what you think you know versus what you're learning, and that's a really great way to highlight uh, what it is you've spent your time doing. So again, these suggestions, I really love the idea also of keeping a dialectical notebook. Where was that? I think, let me find it. Keeping a dialectical notebook or journal, which is when you write your notes. So maybe you're looking at a lecture on one page, and then when you're done, you go back and you sort of like ask questions or try to summarize in a phrase or two in the column on the left what your notes were about. So that's a great idea too. Hope this helps, just to see me interacting with the textbook and to remind you that it's there and that you're reading it